Hi, this is Frantz Kantor, cartoonist, illustrator, and toon talker.
And caricaturist.
Caricaturist. I'm here with
Jim Bridges, and I'm the president of the Australian Cartoon Museum here at downtown Docklands, Melbourne.
in sunny Melbourne.
In sunny Melbourne.
I keep telling people sunny Melbourne, in the hope that one day it'll be sunny.
It's in vitamin D Melbourne, actually.
Vitamin D Melbourne.
Yes.
Yeah, so we need vitamin D.
You playing with your pencil case?
I am. I'm trying to sort of find something to help with the drawing today, and okay, we'll use this. There you go. Oh, there's another one there.
There's another one.
Shorter one.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so we're going to do another drawing, and it'll be another caricature, and we're going to be doing... Let's get rid of this thing here. I've done a little thumbnail here of the character. You probably... I don't know if you can guess who that is, but
It's Joan Sutherland.
Yeah.
It's not Joan Sutherland, no. Oh, that's
It's this lovely lady.
much prettier.
And this is a photograph. She's got like beautiful features, very strong features, very striking, especially her eyes. And I'll show you in more detail some of the pictures. Here she is from Alien, and you can see that her mouth, her teeth are quite prominent, so her mouth and her lower jaw are very striking. And her eyes, they're very dark and strong as well. So we'll talk about her character role. Now, I love science fiction movies and horror films and things like that. And when she was in Alien in 1979, that was a standalone film, pretty much. We'll talk more about that as we go. This is some of her other roles, of course, in Ghostbusters. And
Who you gonna
Alien
call?
again, and this is from Galaxy Quest.
Which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, which was this is a spoof from Galaxy Quest. So you could see she's actually hamming it up for the cameraman or something, just to
I think they cut that out,
have
didn't
fun.
they? She wanted to be more busty, and they said no. They cut it out.
No, they pretty much let her get away with how she wanted to portray
Oh, okay.
the character. So it was the exact opposite of Ripley. So this is Ripley.
Yeah.
Right, who's very, in many ways, very gender neutral, or if anything, a little bit masculine, perhaps, because she's quite a tough character, but she has to go through quite a lot. So we'll talk more about her as we go. Very pretty girl, very pretty girl, and very strong character. So let's start drawing. I've taken the opportunity to sketch up from my thumbnail just some shapes to see if I can try to make sense of it and get a likeness. Very, very quickly, we're going to talk about the process here again, get my little stubby pencil out. So the face, or the shape of the face, is kind of like this. Yeah, well, that's a bit smooth for my purposes, but it's kind of like it's kind of like that. So it's a scooped sort of, I don't know what you'd call that. It's some kind of something you'd make in woodshop.
No, it's something you'd go down on a skateboard. What are you talking about?
A skate ramp, there you go. So her face is a skate ramp, and she's got quite a large set of teeth, and of course the skin around her, the lip area, are accommodating that. So, the bones are not exactly the same in every person. That's how they can actually create a variation. So it's not just the muscles and the tissue attached to the face that gives you individuality. Sometimes the bones themselves are different.
Skulls are slightly different.
Yeah, you can have quite pronounced teeth.
Okay. Yeah, well, you do, but
you can have a bigger head.
I never thought of that. I know people have different teeth, but that's interesting.
Yeah,
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. So it's a very. I'm getting actually one of those tissue heads. Heads with all the tissue, the skulls with all the tissue applied, so we'll be able to discuss that in greater detail in a few
is
weeks.
That your R certificate drawing class, is it?
Yeah.
Welcome to the horror drawing class.
I know. So we're looking at a lighting situation here.
Skate ramp.
Yeah, that is kind of favouring. It's sort of, an outdoor lighting situation, but basically the light comes in from the left, and you've got a little bit of shading, not too much. So we can play with a lot of the forms in that, but there's no strong shadow areas indicated. The other thing as well is, while we're here, we'll talk about, I'll draw it into the perspective that we're going to be using. So there's the concept of the eyes, the nose and the mouth, which is configured in this sort of a T area, or T zone in the face, in the center of the head. And if you kind of imagine it like this is a mask, right? But like a Mexican mask, where you've got the eyes, not just the eyes, but the nose and the mouth. This is the area that we'll be focusing our attention on to get a relative, try to get a relative recognition.
The T-zone.
Yeah. So, and this is live, so it may not work. I may stuff it up. I may miss the mark completely. I may take a wrong turn somewhere, but that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? So we're going to try to find our way. I'm going to try and find relevance on the paper itself. All right, so all of these elements speak to each other in terms of proportion and size and scale, and the closer they are, obviously, the more close the recognition factor. But it's also a good area to push and pull the shapes around more, and try to get the same recognition factor with the same with a different set of rules for the proportions. Okay, so always keep in mind you'll be looking at these elements in the drawing as you draw. And each one will be speaking, to each other. Okay, so let's dive in. We'll see what we can produce. Actually, I've got a head start on this process a little bit, because she's got quite it's well lit here, and she's got quite a lot of lines in this particular photograph, because it's I think fairly recent, probably within the last 10 years or so, or 6 years.
Not bad for a 70-year-old. Actually, she's probably 71 soon. Soon she's going to be 71.
So what films have you seen of hers that you...
Well, I've just seen the usual films, but I mean...
Do you want to notice anything about Alien? Let's talk about Alien first.
What separates her...
from other damsels in distress?
And also...
she's not a damsel in distress.
That's right. She's not a damsel in distress. She sort of...
She's a heroine.
She single-handedly
tough
kick-started kick-ass heroines.
Yeah.
And before that, I mean, you'd have a couple of characters on the fringes, but in Alien... She just, she's sort of like, you've got all those interesting actors who slowly die off, and of course in the second film in particular, she was, it was really primal. It was like mother against mother.
Yeah,
That really made her. Plus Ghostbusters.
That was a very interesting dynamic. I think that was like the missing element for her character in the second movie.
Yeah, because she's fighting for her child, and we all know that...
It's not really a child, it's a child.
Yeah, I know, but
it brings out a mother
instinct. And she's fighting a mother. She's fighting a mother.
Yeah, who is protecting her children, her eggs.
That's right. So, and it becomes really primal.
And, mother against mother.
And when she's calling the monster, come and get me bitch, and all that sort of stuff, it's really like it's the highest of high noons. I felt at the time when I was looking at it, it was like it's the highest of high noons,
Yes, it's like this can only end one way.
Yeah, you know that, but it's just that it's more powerful. It's primal. I mean, anybody knows. Like if you go near a cat that's got kittens, that cat may scratch you, but if it's got kittens, it may scratch you ordinarily, but if you've got kittens, it'll probably tear you to pieces if you go near the kittens, you know. It's just, you know, the maternal spirit is very protective, incredibly protective.
Yeah, we'll get pecked by magpies in the summer because if they're nesting.
Yeah.
You know, and they're very they're paranoid about.
And I think it was the first major film that actually had that maternal strength. I mean, she, as I said, she kick-started kick-ass heroines.
Yeah,
and that's what she does. She kicks ass, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a very very strong character. But more than anything else, I mean, before that we had, you know, in science fiction, there's no real heroines like that. So if you compare to heroines, say, you know, you've got a very strong character like Jane Fonda, but in Barbarella, she's, you know, almost like a classic stumbling beauty that sort of, you know, is a victim of all of these different machinations that men play.
When Alien
to get their way.
When Alien first came out, a lot of people criticised her as a Jane Fonda clone.
Yeah,
and I think it's to do with her face. Her
mouth, her very mouth. Strong features.
She's got a similar mouth, you know, with that toothy sort of, you know. And when she shuts her mouth, she's got those lines down the side, you know. But I mean,
Jane Fonda's voice is strong. It's very sort of, you know, sounds very independent.
Yeah.
It does shake a little bit, but if you watch a film like Clute, for example, she's a very strong character in that, you know, and someone that you feel like you don't want to cross that character, you know, because you come out of it worse.
Redheads are tough. Redheads are tough.
Are they?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with Sigourney. You know, she is a tough female character, female lead, and she survives because of that resilience and you know, the ability to actually spin on a dime and change her tactics.
They're remaking Aliens again, apparently, and she's actually going to be in it, apparently. And what the advertising. Or I don't know who said it, whether it was the producer, the director, her, or the publicity people for the company, but they said no one ever really dies in science fiction, which means that even if she is killed, murdered, blown into 1,000 pieces, you know, she'll return in a sequel.
Well, it's a narrative, isn't it? It's like, that's a silly thing to say. No, it's like saying, you know, in space no one can hear you scream, which is in Alien that was the stupid... slogan that they use, you know, like, ooh, it's a scary science fiction. It's actually, Alien is based on a film which, to my knowledge, they've never acknowledged, that was called It, The Terror from Beyond Space. So it was about an alien that climbs on board a spaceship coming back from Mars, I think, or Venus. I can't remember which planet.
What, a stowaway alien?
Yeah, another stowaway alien. And he would suck the oxygen out of... He's a monster, and he would kill them. He killed people. So eventually, you know, they starve him of oxygen.
Oh, that's how they kill him.
That's how they kill him.
Yeah.
So she blows the alien out of the airlock. So, you know, the alien struggles in space, but obviously, you know, that the not being able to hear you scream in space doesn't refer to humans. It's referring to the alien who is screaming, but you can't hear him.
Yeah, but it sort of aligns itself with the sounds of one hand clapping in the forest. You know, it's one of those. They probably come out at the same time. They did. They came out at the same time.
Look, look, as far as slogans goes, okay, it's fine, but come on, really. It's a silly thing to say.
Well, people have trouble going to the toilet after going to see Jaws. You know, they want to sit down on the toilet just in case. And
in case a shark comes up and bites them on the bum.
That's right. There's all these crocodiles in
the sewer.
In the sewer, all that stuff.
Yeah. I don't think sharks have the same ability to survive in poop.
No.
like crocodiles and alligators. It's more alligators in the sewer, isn't it? Not crocodiles. I don't think they've ever found a crocodile in a sewer.
It sounds like a Porky Pig problem. You'd say, crocodile.
Yeah.
Well, you've really got stuck into her quick.
Yeah, she's got, as I said, she's got, quite strong features, and once you allow yourself to stretch them out a bit like this to give it a little bit more play, I think it's quite fun.
Well, you've given her a lot of worry lines for a start.
Well, yeah, but it's just the brown pencil.
Oh, it's just a brown pencil.
Yeah, you may not see them as that when I put the... Gee, I love the way pencil describes hair. It just beautifully analyzes or just describes hair very, very quickly and easily, because
So
all the lines
pencils
equal.
analyse hair, and they I like that. I'll pay that.
So, okay.
When you told
I love that
when
film.
you told me you were going to draw her, I was thinking, is he going to draw her with her teeth or without her teeth? With her mouth shut. And I'm thinking, I hope he draws her with her mouth shut.
Yeah.
Because it's a caricature.
Why?
Well, caricatures, you tend to go for it, don't you? You extend things.
I'm not going overboard, I don't think, with her lips, with her teeth. You could go, turn it into buck teeth, but I just feel that's maybe overstepping the mark.
Okay, well, she's born in 1949, and you know what her real name is?
Ripley?
I don't
know.
Her real name is Susan Alexandra Weaver.
Susan Weaver.
And you know where she got Sigourney from?
No.
From a character in The Great Gatsby.
Oh.
I don't know who the character was. I can't
No,
remember.
because I have never watched the Great
But you see, she went to uni, and she got a BA in English.
Right.
So she would have studied that, and that's how she got into acting, because she did a BA at Stanford Uni in English.
Right.
Yeah. When she was 18, she her father was a television executive.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know much about her mum, but her father was a television executive, and she was born in 1949, so she's 71 in October this year. When she was 18, like a lot of people, she spent a couple of months in Israel working in a kibbutz.
Yeah.
And she did a bit of acting at the uni.
Mm-hmm.
Her first movie was in 1977, and do you know what it was?
No.
It's a non-speaking part.
Oh, well, there you go.
But you know what? Have a guess. No guess. Okay.
I can't guess.
Annie Hall.
Annie Hall. Oh, okay.
That's 77.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later was Alien, the first one.
Right. 79.
And it was interesting because I didn't think much of her in the first film. She's just an actress, But as the films went on, she just sort of developed this. She developed beside the character,
Well, I think she just layered more
Yes.
characteristics onto the character that she played,
And
Ripley.
as I said before, when people said that she was just at first they felt she was just a Jane Fonda clone. I sort of tended to agree with them. But she sort of grew, and some bloke says you watched her start out as an actress and then she became a star. Some bloke came out and said that.
Who said that?
Oh, some
bloke.
Some critic.
Yeah.
Obviously likes her. So 79 was the first Alien. Now, what's your experience of the first Alien?
I recognised it, the terror from beyond space, immediately.
I've heard this.
I took a dislike to it when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Undeniable presence of, her presence in the film, really magical. Ian Holm was great, as he just passed away yesterday.
Is he the one that the monster comes out of his chest, or is that the Elephant Man character?
It's the Elephant Man.
Yeah.
No, Ian Holm was the robot
coordinator.
Yeah, well, I forget. No, he was the robot. What coordinator? Okay. He was a.
Been a while.
Yeah, no, he was a robot.
Yeah. I liked. Well, you got anything else to say about her with the film? Besides,
just that it was really tense, very, very well done. As a science fiction horror film, it's one of the best. It's very difficult to get the two genres, correct. But they did a really good job on it.
Well, I mean, they had the best.
Beautifully designed. Mobius.
They had the best monster.
Ron Cobb.
And
H.R. Geiger.
Yeah, they had the best monster.
Yeah.
Of all time, really, isn't he? He's the scariest monster of all time.
Oh, probably. Yeah, he would be the scariest. Yeah. I mean, there are nice monsters. Well designed monsters like Predator.
Well designed monsters.
Yeah.
He's not your everyday well-designed monster.
No, he's good. I mean, he's really scary.
Yeah,
and that's the whole idea.
And adding the hydraulic and bits of slime coming off, that really helped too.
The tongue with teeth on it.
Yeah.
So it was like a double surprise, a shock. Like there was jump scares in the film.
Okay, well let's get on to that. When I first saw the film, I used to know the projectionist in that particular theatre, and he used to sometimes let me in when I had no money. Just go up to his knock on the door, and he'd let me out, hit the door at the end of the theatre.
Right.
But I saw him I was paying at the stage, and he told me that. This film's a bit different, because I'd always talk to him about projection and stuff, and he'd say, "Oh, this one's different. I've got instructions to turn the sound up at a certain moment,
like The Exorcist,
then turn it down, And I hated that. As soon as he said that, I hadn't even seen the film. I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that they're going to turn the soundtrack up to scare the crap out of you, and of course they do that in that film.
But why didn't you like that part?
Oh, because I can understand using colour and all those. I don't know. It just seemed cheap and nasty. I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, so I'm
like
sitting
the Tingler.
there. I'm sitting there waiting for it to happen,
but they did the same thing with The Exorcist.
You don't know it's going to happen, but I knew it was going to happen because he told me. So I'm sitting there already hating the film before it starts, in a bad mood. But I was blown away by the graphics.
Yeah. And the music.
Yeah. And it's well done, it's well done. But I at the end I just felt, and the other thing about the monster is that if you kill it, and its blood is acid, and they're on a ship that's got 22 stories on it, and the acid just burned through all the floors.
Yeah.
So that's a no-win situation. You've now got a no-win situation. How the hell are they going to get out of this? And of course, you've got that bit at the end where they chuck it out, and it's sort of still hanging there and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it worked, but I didn't, I never liked it that much, because I just, right from the word go, I had a bad opinion about it before it even started. I wished he hadn't told me that.
Well, okay. I had no expectations of it at all. I did recognise the plot and the story.
Yeah.
But I was blown out by the graphics and the tension,
and as you said,
the acting was really good.
And the other good thing about it, I think it's just to do with Ron Cobb. He did the interiors of he did the drawings, the designs of the interior of the ships and stuff. It was the first of those films where it was messy. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, you go into a shop...
Yeah, it's the opposite to Star Trek.
Yeah, you go into a shop and it's all nice and clean, but you walk out the back and it's filthy,
Yeah.
That's where people sit and smoke and work and the grease and all that stuff. And I liked that because it was the first film that actually had down-at-heel sort of ship.
Yeah.
It wasn't 2001 clean and white and all that
or
stuff.
Star Trek or Lost in Space.
Yeah, that's
so you
right.
don't really,
That's right. And it looked real.
looks used.
It looked real.
Yeah.
And it, like, you could nearly smell the rust.
Mm.
If you can smell rust.
Yeah, well, they have, leaking water and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, how does that work in a spaceship? Didn't they bring a plunger or turn the tap off? God's sake.
Well, if they throw it out the window,
going on?
the wind's not going to blow it back in, like in a ship, is it?
No, that's just. They just added more things to create a sense of atmosphere. Because the way that it worked, it was in a hold.
What year did that come out?
57.
So it's a B movie.
Yeah.
And who's in it?
The mum from National Velvet. Does that help you?
Yes, I know her. Yeah.
All right.
She had integrity etched onto her face.
Integrity. She had integrity.
Integrity.
Yeah. Okay,
Integrity.
get it?
Yeah.
So.
The television show at the National Velvet you're talking about?
Yeah.
Not the movie. Okay. All right.
No. So it was. It was her and a few other people. I can't. Just actors you see.
B players.
Yeah.
B players.
Yeah. So most of them. Anyway, it was a good. It was a good plot. I think the monster was particularly. It was just a rubber suit, so it was big claws, nothing bent. There were no hands moving or anything like that.
Mm.
So it had immediately rubber suit crap effects. So you have to a lot of.
So it's obviously based on War of the Worlds, because the monsters catch cold, and they just deprive this one of oxygen.
Well, they work out that the monsters actually breaking all the bones in the bodies, but they're dying of depletion of oxygen. They're suffocating. So they work out that maybe he's. He needs the oxygen because he comes from an environment where there's very little oxygen, which is
so instead of
Mars.
sucking the blood, he sucks the oxygen.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But
I don't know many people have seen this film. Probably no one watching this.
Well, maybe, but I watched it, and I saw the. The similarity. It was more than a similarity. It's the same story basically.
Yeah.
They're on their way home to Earth, and the monster's on board, and they don't know it.
Yeah.
And and he traps them. It's very scary too, in a way. There's a feeling of claustrophobia as well. He drags the victims into the conduits of the ship. The air ducts and stuff. And kills them, traps them in the confined space. He's a very scary monster. Out walking around, he looks like a lumbering.
That's a device in Doctor No, isn't it? He's crawling through air vents or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've used it in other plots.
Well, it's in Toy Story, crawling through the vents.
Yeah. It is.
Hmm.
Toy Story 2.
I think it's 3.
3.
Not sure. Toy Story 2. They're crawling through vents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she hasn't done Toy Story, I don't think. She's done a few.
No, let's get back to her then. Okay, so I think she's been pretty lucky because virtually those 3 Alien films set it totally up, and then Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Another big franchise.
Yeah, 2 of them. 1 and 2 she was in. Really topped her up.
It did.
And she's at the top of the tree. And then Galaxy Quest comes along where she has fun.
Yeah.
She actually has fun. You can tell she's having fun with the role.
Yeah, she plays like the Uhura character, the female.
Yeah, but she's actually... you get the impression she would have done that role for nothing. Because she seems to be having fun in it,
Well, I think they all had fun.
Yeah.
Even Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
So I think they all had fun with that. It's a fan Look, it's a film that's based on the fans of Star Trek.
Yes,
So
that's
people
right,
that
yeah.
love Star Trek. So it's
Yeah.
a show,
Yeah.
a spoof about a.
Actually,
the love
have
of
you
that
read the
and
script? It's a great
conventions and
script.
stuff. I haven't read the script.
I've read the script. It's a great script. I think time is going to make that into a classic script. You know.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So in 1963, she changed her name to Sigourney.
Ah.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't remember it Annie Hall, but next time I see it, I'll look for it. And then she did the film The Year of Living Dangerously with Mel Gibson, which is an Australian film set in the turbulent days of Indonesia when there was the government takeover, the army and that. And then, of course, 1988, she was in Gorillas in the Mist, playing Diane Fossey, the woman who lived with the gorillas. And that sort of, Diane Fossey died, and because she played
By
her...
gorilla?
No, I think poachers killed her.
Poachers killed her.
Yeah, I think they did.
She murdered them.
Yeah, because, she was stopping them
From
getting the gorillas.
poaching.
Yeah. So...
They take a dim view of that, I'm sure.
They did, yeah. So she became like an international force, like she's the face of conservation. So as an actress, she became, like she's still on the Diane Fossey Gorilla
Website.
Foundation, whatever
right.
it is. She's the
Yeah.
chairwoman of that.
Ah.
And she's done, and for instance, she's done other things. She's done lots of docos where she does the voiceover for green issues, conservation things, and the BBC thing Planet Earth, which we've all seen, which David Attenborough does the voiceover. In America, they kicked him off and they got her to do the voiceover,
Right.
which I think is a bit rough. And of course, her voiceover, she played the computer in WALL-E,
Yes.
and she played herself in the video game based on Alien.
She also played the voice of the ship of oh my God, Futurama's spaceship.
That's
the,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, she was the mother. I don't even. I think
Yeah.
they called her Mother, which
Yeah.
was the name of the ship of the Nostromo, the computer of Nostromo.
But I personally liked the best in Ghostbusters. I thought she's good in that. She didn't have to do much, but it was such an interesting idea, And it's funny because Ghostbusters is based on a Disney cartoon, a Mickey Mouse, Goofy, Donald Duck cartoon,
Right.
and I think it's called Ghostbusters. No, it's called Ghost something, Ghost Watchers or something. And they go into a haunted house, to get these ghosts out.
Right. Okay. So
But I remember,
obviously 40s.
she comes home and she opens up the fridge, as
Yeah.
you do.
Right.
And
there's Zool.
yes, in the fridge. Yeah. I liked all that, and I liked the way she tried to fend off.
The neighbour.
No, not him. Not Nick Moranis. What's his name? Bill.
Yeah.
I like the way she fended him off, or tried to fend him off.
Yeah, well, they had a nice little banter, didn't they?
Yeah,
Sort of
I like that. I like that relationship.
innuendo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill Murray was really good in that. That was one of his best roles, I think. There's a few standout roles in my mind of Bill Murray.
Well,
And
Rick
that's
Moranis
definitely
was
one.
terrific. He was terrific.
Yeah.
He was terrific. And who was that? The first girl who works as the
The receptionist.
receptionist,
Yeah.
bored out of her brain. Ghostbusters,
What do you want?
Yeah,
Yeah, with a very New York
Bronx, was it Bronx
accent.
accent? Yeah.
Yeah. So again, Alien's the opposite. It's not a comedy horror. Alien is a horror, sci-fi horror. Difficult to do a sci-fi that's horrific, that's scary. So they put in a lot of jump scares, and they had that nightmarish illustrator, H.R. Geiger, to create something that was extraordinarily scary.
Yes.
He went into a lot of the psychological aspects of horror for his work, and they're quite disturbing. Some of it you can get a bit overdone. You can get a bit, let's say, a little bit burnt out looking at a lot of Geiger's stuff, because it can be very, very dark.
It's sort of did he study engineering or anything like that?
Because they're biomechanics. So there's a blend of
engineering element in his work.
Yeah, so there's a very disturbing.
What's that book he did? That big book,
Necronomicon.
Yeah, that's right. He's got like all these pipes coming down the walls, and of course they become limbs, women's limbs. And there's vaginas and all sorts of stuff on the wall, and it's all mechanical and cold, and
Yeah, so definitely. I mean, he's done a few films. He's done. What was the? It was another Alien he created.
Well, he didn't top Alien.
No.
He didn't top that.
No. Well, that's a really predatory-looking alien. That's like an insect who's sort of. It's like an armor-plated, human-sized or just over human-sized praying mantis. If you can imagine how scary that would be. It's like if that's
even male praying mantis would be scared.
Yeah. So, it's a very... there's something about the qualities of that, the skeletal qualities and the insect qualities and the way that it moved. And the fact that then how it delivered death wasn't something simple. It wasn't like Dracula biting you on the neck or something romantic like that. But it was really gut-wrenching in a way. It actually puncture your head and chew on your brain. So was it unpleasant? Quite unpleasant.
Do you think a lot of people became vegetarians after that film?
Yeah, it was. It was a very unpleasant way to die, which makes it, of course, a beautiful horror film. So it can very easily sit on the shelf, next to The Exorcist or other scary films. And at the same time, be a great science fiction adventure as well. So there's a lot going for it. It's with that sort of genre, you can do one of two things. You can either be respectful of the films that gone before, or break new ground. So they decided to break new ground.
Yeah.
So they took the It concept and they made it scary.
Well, the director...
It was scary, but they made it scarier.
The director...
Ridley Scott.
Yeah, he has, and at the time had, one of the biggest illustrated books collections in the world. So all the great illustrators, all their great ideas, all their imagination that's ever been put in books, he had.
Yeah.
So when he decides to do Alien, he had... Plus, he's got the updates of people like Geiger, because he would have known about that book, because that came out before Alien, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, of course, Ron Cobb was a political cartoonist working in Australia for a while. He's American, but he married an Australian, so he comes to Australia every year. And, of course, he had this wonderful chunky style, and he ended up designing all these spaceships and interiors. And who was the other guy?
He did Star Wars.
Yeah, he did Star Wars too. But who was the other guy? The third guy?
Mobius.
Mobius.
So he took a spin at the spaceship and some of the interiors and the costumes of the astronauts.
Yeah, and
so
Mobius,
they had an incredible richness.
Yes,
about the...
so that's right. So Aliens it really stood out as a science fiction movie.
Yeah, it was a beautifully designed film.
Yeah.
It had really good production quality. You know, it wasn't it had the quality of that you'd expect from something like 2001.
Yes, well,
So,
I mean,
that sort of
the
realism. And
the director has got a great visual sense. All his films are visually stunning, all of them.
yeah,
Even if they bomb, they're still interesting to look at.
right.
It's a pity because half the time, I mean, the only time I've ever seen him talking online, he seems to be drunk.
Who does? The director, Ridley Scott.
Yeah, he seems to be drunk. But I've followed his films. I mean, from the beginning, got a really strong sense of
Style.
Oh,
Visual style.
what's that Japanese gangster movie with Kirk Douglas's with Michael Douglas? Is it Blue Moon or
Black Rain?
Black Rain, yeah, visual, beautiful, beautiful film. That's right, Black Rain.
Yes, he's a great visualizer.
And also she was in Avatar. I forgot that. She was in Avatar. And apparently, because he's making Avatar 2, 3, 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 or something, isn't he? He started them 3 years ago and they haven't... There's no...
date.
But she's in all those films apparently playing a different role.
A different role?
Than she was in the first one.
Right. Okay.
Well, that's what I read. I read that.
Oh, that's good.
So, I mean,
It's nice to have a regular job. It's fun.
I think, well, she's pretty lucky in the sense that she didn't have to make a hell of a lot of movies, like a lot of other actresses before they rise to the top. I mean, her second year in films, she did Alien, so...
Yeah. Well, it's not the number of films you make, it's the number of memorable performances you have in
I'm
films.
an oldie, and in the old days you had to do a lot of stuff, before you came to the...
Right.
Before the cream came to the top.
Right, so Faye Dunaway must have made a lot of stinkers before she
did do a few stinkers, yeah. The Trip. Was it The Trip?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think it was The Trip. No, not The Trip. It's, what is it? No, I can't remember now. But, she sent some turkeys.
Yeah, Catwoman. Just thought I'd throw that in there. The poster looked good, though. Like the poster of Catwoman.
She wasn't in
Give
Catwoman,
the film.
was she?
Yeah, she was the evil character. I'm pretty sure.
No, okay. Are you talking about the Burton movie?
No.
What are you talking about?
Catwoman.
The remake of Catwoman?
Yeah, the Halle Berry film.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Probably haven't seen it.
No.
I
saw the first one.
I saw the poster.
I saw the first. You saw the poster? Oh, well, that's all right then.
Yeah, well, the poster's good.
Yeah. They don't make posters like they used to, that's for sure.
No, they don't actually. A lot of the posters used to be done by Drew Struzan and some great...
We've made about 6 films on posters, so we do know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I love illustrated posters that just,
They're gone but not forgotten.
Well, yeah, but they have their effect on modern-day photoshopped posters, for sure.
Well, they're better than Photoshop, but there's a whole new generation of young blokes coming out, young art designers coming in, redesigning classic movies because they miss those, the confines of Photoshop.
They miss the confines?
No. Photoshop confines you.
Does it?
Everybody's using the same tools. Everybody's using the same colour palettes. You know what I mean? And everything looks the same.
Yeah.
Whereas in the
day
old...
for night, like day for night.
Well...
The bluey, greeny...
Yeah, but whereas, you know... who was that classic guy who did... what's that American designer? The classic guy did... Saul Bass. Saul Bass would use all sorts of things. He'd cut out bits of paper and he'd use... He's used lots of paint, or he just used straight lines.
They revisit some Saul Bass stuff now and again. They have homages to it, like "Catch Me If You Can." The whole title sequence is like a homage to Saul Bass.
Yeah,
and I think people get it. It's just that they forget that there's a lot of.
No, but also
the art can add to a film.
Saul Bass did posters as well.
Yeah,
so I'm talking about posters primarily, not so much credits.
Yeah, Man with the Golden Arm and stuff.
Yeah,
yeah.
And there's a very good doco on him online and
on Saul Bass.
Yeah, and it talks about like some films he gives the director 80 different concepts. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah. So he works his butt off to get the right...
That wouldn't be a pleasant experience to go through 80.
Yeah. Up to 80 he's done that,
Right.
But, Vertigo and North by Northwest.
Yeah, I've seen some of the variations that he's done in the design process, and it's an interesting... He has a very interesting visual take on things. He doesn't use metaphors so much, so it's very interesting.
He did Exodus, didn't he?
Yeah,
he was doing stuff in the 50s and 60s in particular. That's when he was hot.
Yeah, Spartacus.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff. Very interesting.
I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus.
Yeah. Everybody who hasn't seen Spartacus will just miss that whole reference that you were just giving me. Of course, it's the end of Spartacus, and the spoiler is that Spartacus gets caught. They all get caught in the end.
Yes, well, historically...
Olivia gets them all.
Historically, all the
not happy. He's not happy.
All the fighters, all the people on Spartacus' sides were crucified, and they were strung up on the crosses. And you know how long those crosses went for down the road?
1,000 miles.
No, 23 miles.
23 miles.
Yeah,
I was close. So they were obviously all bunched up together, close.
Well, I mean, there weren't too many slave revolts
after that.
Too soon after that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
But
so it's
I
not
don't
something
know.
Where they lived happily.
If I was Spartacus, I would have said, "Sorry, all these guys are bullshitting. I'm the real one. Let them go."
You would have said that.
I would have did that, yeah, because
they sent up that thing in Life of Brian. I thought that was really good.
They did. And apparently, they were going to... when that happens in the film, when they were showing the film to the execs wanted to take that out.
Why?
Oh, you can't put that in. It's awful. It's going to bugger up the end of the film,
Which film are you talking about? Life
Spartacus.
Of
I'm talking about Spartacus.
Well, why would that bugger up the film?
Well, they didn't want it there. I mean,
Right, okay.
You'd think they'd know their subject, these people who run...
Why? Why would they know their subject?
You'd think.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell me why...
What does this mean?
These lines.
She talks a lot.
Ah.
She's very muscular. These wrinkles are formed by a lot of use of her face.
Because Jane Fonda has similar ones.
Yes, she does. Well, both Jane Fonda and Sigourney have large teeth. So the skin folds around the teeth.
They do.
Has to accommodate that.
What's that?
That's the tail of one of the xenomorphs.
Ah, I thought she was. She had a very highly decorated tail on her kite.
No.
And it was flying a kite.
I didn't want to do a head of a xenomorph. I just thought to do the tail of a xenomorph.
It takes away from the overall concept of caricature, doesn't it?
No, really. It was harder to draw.
I once asked Bill Greenweg, would he do a caricature of a horse?
Oh.
And he looked at me like I was an idiot. He looked at me like that a lot.
He did that a lot, yeah.
He did.
I was just going to say that.
But and then
Are you sure you were friends?
A couple of years ago, Paul Harvey started doing caricatures of
horses,
of black caviar and of horses. Yeah. So I'm just thinking, do you think it'd be possible to do a caricature of the monster from Alien?
Oh yeah, caricature is a process of exaggeration and simplification.
But you got to make it funny.
Yeah, you could do it.
How could you make the monster funny? That'd be hard, wouldn't it?
No, I don't think so. There's Loopy Dave does a beautiful funny xenomorphs.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Can you want to tell the world who Loopy Dave is?
He's an illustrator. We'll actually review one of his books.
We haven't, have
Australian
we? We haven't yet.
No.
And what sort of work does he do? Comics?
Yeah, he does a bit of everything. They're kind of they're illustrations. Does a lot of his own work, fan art. So, but really beautiful stuff.
You've definitely masculised her.
Have I? Well, I find her face really interesting. She's got a lot of structure.
Yeah.
And
she has an interesting face, I must admit.
It's architecturally beautiful.
She's easy on the eye, but architecturally beautiful.
Yeah. Sorry, I've just sort of shut my mouth and
well, you're not spending.
Call me corn pone.
She probably spends more time doing upper eyes than you do, doing her eyes. So it wouldn't be. You're not in a hurry to finish, are you?
No, I just want to strengthen some of the shapes that I've put in.
You couldn't strengthen a jaw anymore.
Yeah, it's like a very.
Looks like it could
flying buttress.
If you could put her on a on a tractor and she'd dig up the earth with that chin. But you did call it what did you start off with as a skate ramp?
Yeah,
the face is a skate ramp. Well, the shape.
Yeah,
the overall shape.
I don't like this part, but I'm kind of committed now, I guess. Get a bit of contrast going.
So,
anyway,
there's vicious rumours you're going to do white background today.
Is there?
Vicious.
I'm not sure. I think
that'd
I might
that'd be hard to do white or black around, wouldn't it?
I don't know. Let's have a look. Try and
when you do things like that, you're not thinking about the background at that stage, or you've already incorporated that into your head.
You mean colouring around it?
Yeah, that's going to be difficult.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't hit the line. I miss the line.
No, I know, but it's still there's not much gap in there. Not much gap in there between those.
Let's talk about her again. I really liked her in Galaxy Quest. I thought the caricature of the female lead in a science fiction TV show I thought was really, really clever. Because if you think of Uhura, I mean, she's got to be glamorous all the time.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's nothing left in there.
I think that's my favourite film she's in as well. I mean, I love her in Ghostbusters, but in that film, she's obviously having a ball. It's like watching Meryl Streep in Mamma Mia. She's not acting. She's just having a ball.
Yeah.
She's totally relaxed. She's so happy doing that, singing, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a pleasure just to watch her in that film. I didn't particularly like the film, but it's a pleasure watching her.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we're all impressed with Meryl Streep.
I haven't watched it, and I have no intention of watching it.
But I'm just saying she's really enjoying it. You could see she's absolutely getting into it. And in Galaxy Quest, I mean, the two people who dominate that film was her and what's his name? The guy who just died with the cabbage on his head, you know.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman, yeah. They both dominate that film.
Yeah. Yeah, Alan Rickman's he has good value in that film. It's a good value in every film. I can't get enough ink out of that, so I'll try something else. Get another thing happening. No, that's not activated.
When you say it's not activated,
you have to pump the.
Well, activate it. How long does it take to activate?
Oh, it's noisy and annoying. I don't.
Well, isn't that part of the drawing process? You've got to show people how to activate your pens.
Well, there's a ball bearing in the pen.
Yeah.
And people say, don't keep shaking the pen.
Do they? It sounds like your daughters.
So, she's Galaxy Quest is one of those films that when I first saw it, I didn't know what to make of it. And then I saw it again and again and again. I've seen it probably about 20 times.
Really?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, yes, you can.
The performances are really stellar.
I loved it straight away. I just thought it was really, really funny. Really funny.
And funny enough, it's a spoof on Star Trek fandom.
Yes.
And the Star Trek fans love it. They love that film. So it's sort of like a joke that.
Do you know any Trekkies in real life? Do you know any Trekkies in real life?
Yeah, a few. Yeah.
I've never understood that show. I just don't see what's so great about it. I've tried to. I mean, I like Universal franchises.
Right.
I'm big on Universal franchises, but I don't understand what's so great about it. It doesn't come up to Have Gun Will Travel standard.
Right. Well, it started out as a like a Captain Horatio Hornblower in space. That was the original brief. And then it went, because it's what all the nautical stuff is all about.
Okay,
Captain and, you know, the Enterprise is a she and USSS and all this stuff.
Yeah, there's hundreds of gags in there, aren't there? It's like when they're writing a script, it's like they hit a vein. I reckon, you know, it's like they hit a vein and they just followed it through, you know? It's like, you know, miners when they hit a vein of gold. They just follow it through.
Well, it's the age of exploration. So the age of exploration with sail, they did a comparable job with, with warp engines.
Yeah.
So, you know, it made sense at the time. People thinking, well, you're going to be exploring the galaxy in ships that go far beyond the light speed of light. You have to, because everything is so far away from us. It's not like they're in our neighborhood, you know. So it's it was the age of sail, except it's transposed into deep space.
It's funny now that you've actually surrounded that in black. It's almost you've coloured it in. You know what I mean? And you haven't touched it.
Yeah.
Aren't you going to put the dot in the O? That's it. You always put the dot in the O.
Yeah, double. Okay, this is Sigourney. I like this. I wasn't sure about this one before because, you know, the teeth and everything. I love her younger look, but she looks very young. And I don't, you know, a lot of the character, I think, comes from years of playing Ripley. So, there she is. That's Sigourney, and this is my version of Sigourney. Hope you liked it. This is Frantz Kantor. I've been here with
Jim Bridges. I wonder if Sigourney would like it.
Yeah. And we'll catch you on the flip side. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.